had to tell my wife some things that I did that nobody else knows about. And she said, why are you telling me this? Because God told me to tell you. And I'm like, I don't want to tell her that, Lord. Tell your wife. And then I don't want to tell her that. And then there's silence. That's been the pattern with God. He'll ask me to do something. I'll say, I don't want to do that. And he'll tell me one more time, I don't want to do that. And then there's silence. Oh, man. And that's really one of an important godly principle. If God tells you to do something and you say no, guess what happens? He's just going to wait for you to do it. And if he waits, he'll wait 20 years for you to do it. Okay? For 20 years, God told me, tell your wife and friends about your addiction. About 5 or 6 times in that 20 years, I'd seek God, and he'd say, tell your wife and friends about your addiction. And I would say, no. And then a couple years later, I'd seek God some more, and he'd say, tell your wife and friends about your addiction. No. And finally, that's what I did, back in 1998, December 1st, I told my wife and friends about my addiction. Okay? And I started that process. God's not going to ask you to do what he asked Abraham to do.